You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Lucas's Path. So we are all finished with Lee for right now, and Oscar as well, so we're going to jump right back into this adorable little fox, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. And I don't care what the phrasing sounded like. Alright, but I will stand by his side and be his rock. He needs help, and I'll make sure he gets it. I'm sitting at a desk, my tail crushed back against the hard plastic seat, but I'm not able to shift myself into a more comfortable position. It's like I can't move my body at all, like I'm too dazed to control myself, but I can still comprehend the world around me. I'm inside a classroom, but it doesn't look like it's gotten much use over the years. The blackboard looks worn with numerous spots of discoloration, and that's the best of it. The room looks like everyone left in a hurry. There's desks and chairs scattered around the room with no rhyme or reason, plenty of them on their sides. There still looks to be backpacks piled into a corner of the room and pencil cases filled with utensils that have been left. It doesn't feel like this was planned. I get up from the chair, still feeling dazed and like I'm having a lucid dream, except I'm just watching myself play it out. I can still feel everything, just like I'm drunk. Is this what being drunk is like? Am I drunk? I've only ever had sips of beer and wine from my parents, so I wouldn't know, but I'm almost certain that isn't the case. This is almost definitely a dream again. Maneuvering through the room turns out to be more complicated than expected. One wrong step and I could get a stray metal leg through the gut. I don't know if these dreams can hurt, but I wouldn't want to risk it. Not that I have much of an option anyway. I'm just a bystander right now. Next thing I know, I'm in a hallway, one that looks just as abandoned as the rest of the place. Rows of lockers cover both sides of the hallway, only broken up by the occasional door. Most of these are intact, but there's a few that are bent off their hinges or just broken off entirely. Taking a peek in them just shows they're either empty or just holding a few random school books. Something about this place makes me feel anxious, but it feels like these emotions aren't coming from me. Like they're being forced into me, but that doesn't make them feel any less real. There you go. It's like the air is oppressive and all the alarms in my head are screaming danger, but I can't find anything around me that looks dangerous. That doesn't stop the sensation that something is following me. Before I can truly digest everything, I'm caught off guard by a sound in the distance. At the end of the hallway, I can see another row of lockers, but one locker in particular is different from the rest. The latch rattles as it shakes as if there's something trying to get out. Excuse me. Despite my mind screaming to stay away, I start to walk towards it. I can even tear my eyes away as it gets closer and closer. My heart starts pounding against my chest. The danger alarms before it become full sirens that grow louder and louder with each step, but by this point, it's hard to tell if they're my actual thoughts or whatever the dream wants me to feel. Suddenly, I'm standing just a few steps away. I don't even know how I crossed the hallway that quickly, but it's hard to think like a mist has filled my skull. My hand reaches towards the rattling door before a noise stops me, one that fully jolts me out of whatever had been influencing me and chills my blood to the core. Children's laughter, right behind me. I jolt awake with a heavy weight on my chest. Panic rushes through me for a moment before I realize what it is. It's Lucas, cuddling up against me, and the memories of the previous night come flooding back. His emotional outburst, my awkward confession, and the fallout surrounding that. Let's turn the sound up. There we go. Because we can, for the most part, we can just use AI to remove any music tracks that might have copyright claims on them. I still don't really understand why Lucas reacted the way he did, but it's clear that something happened before that caused him to think that he'd hurt me for some reason. But I know Lucas isn't that kind of guy. But I can't exactly talk to him about it, but I think going behind his back to investigate it would be just as bad. I know I won't want people looking into my past without my permission would make me a little upset. Then again, I know if someone asked me about the skeletons in my closet, I wouldn't want to talk about those either. This is complicated. What's the right thing to do? Is there even a right thing to do? Should I just leave this alone entirely? Let me mute it just a little bit. There we go. It doesn't sound like a smart idea either. My confession last night caused a pretty intense reaction. I don't want to do that again on accident. Wish you could ask Marcus. He'd probably know what to do. Actually, he probably wouldn't. Never really knew what he was talking about, but it was comforting to ask. It's a little unfair to ask him to talk about that without me coming clean about my own baggage. I just need to figure out what I'd say. That's something I don't think about often. My eyes drift over to the bedside table where my phone is charging, and that single text message is waiting for me to open it. I really should just delete it, but the thought of doing that is it's too sad. I let out a shaky sigh as a whirlwind of confusing emotions swirl around me. I know I'm just being introspective due to everything that happened last night. I didn't really process it properly at the time, but now that it's over, I feel so mentally exhausted. Looking down at Lucas, I can see he's still sleeping against my chest. It's strange. In my head, I always imagined I would be the one cuddling up on someone's chest, but this is a lot nicer than I expected. I get a perfect view of all those features that make my stomach do flips, like the way his ears flick every couple of minutes, or just how peaceful he looks. Despite the cramping sensation starting to creep up on me, I don't want to disturb him at all. Just watching him like this is relaxing. I can feel myself calming down. A few deep breaths later, I carefully place a hand on the back of his neck, doing my best to not wake him up. But he seems out like a light as I brush my claws through his soft fur. I'm caught off guard by the moan that slips from his lips, and I nearly ruin everything, but I manage to stop myself from jumping in place. Boyfriend. I've never had one of those. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do now. Are things different now? Should I just keep things normal? This is complicated, let alone all the strange feelings that Lucas has about it. He looked so scared last night. He said he'd hurt me. Maybe I should talk to Kostya about it. And Lucas said that he was the one who ruined his life, but Kostya didn't seem very upset at Lucas. There's a lot more going on there. It might be a little unfair to Lucas to look into it, but he's clearly hurting and needs my help. I can't just leave someone who needs me. I'll just think on it some more. We ended up lying in bed for another 30 minutes before Lucas woke up and immediately scolded me for not letting him sleep that long, though he didn't sound too upset other than his schedule being messed up. Honestly, watching him huff is just adorable at this point, at least when I know it isn't anything serious. Last night was, something else. Right now, he's left to go take a shower in his room just a few minutes ago. Apparently, waking up sweaty isn't something he enjoys, though he refused quickly when I offered that we stop cuddling if it bothers him. But he also mentioned that he was annoyed that he didn't take a shower last night. We'd have to take two today. He really likes his schedules. I've always been awful at sticking to regular habits. I forget to eat if my parents didn't make me set an alarm for it. Now that I'm sitting here alone with the cool autumn breeze slipping through my window, I already miss having him against me. His fur is so thick, it's like having the world's softest teddy bear on me. Something sobering to the coolness that really lets me wake up and start my day. That nightmare is still in my mind. It wasn't anything like the others, but something about it felt similar. And that just makes the steadily growing pit in my stomach grow even larger. I wish I knew exactly what was going on with my nightmares. I know they aren't just a shared hallucination like Lucas thinks. I don't have any proof for it, but something about them just doesn't feel right. My eyes linger on the diary, sitting next to my phone that's still on the charger. I don't know how I didn't notice it before, but it's almost taunting me, wanting me to search for answers. But Lee had been pretty clear that he didn't want me reading it, especially not alone. But it's hard to ignore that one of the pages was in that dream. Sure, I might have just come across it in my reading before, but something just doesn't feel right. Maybe Lee's right, and I'm just being paranoid. This project could just be messing with my head. I don't know. Maybe I should just give a little read. It couldn't hurt, right? I reach my hand out, and I'm about to grab it before I'm startled by the sound of my phone going off, causing me to knock the two of them off onto the floor, the diary sliding under my bed. Damn it! I pick up my phone to check what the alert was about and see it's a message from Kostya, asking about the details of what happened last night. Maybe I should ask him about what happened between him and Lucas. Seems like as good a time as any. Maybe it'll be a good distraction from the diary. Lee might be right. Maybe I do need a break from it. I'm about to type out a message before deciding against it. It doesn't feel appropriate to ask something like this over a text message, so I press the call button instead. It doesn't even make through a single ring before it's picked up, and I'm greeted by that thick accent I'm becoming familiar with. Ah, Privyet! I was expecting you to call so soon. You'll have to give me a moment. I was just working out. Let me put the weights away. Oh, you're at the gym? If you're busy, I can always call back later. Nonsense, friend. I'm just in my room. I have my own weights. I don't need to go to the gym for what I can do here. Really? Aren't those, like, super expensive? But Kostya doesn't reply, at least not the kind of reply I was expecting. And instead, answering my question, he sends me a photo of him, shirtless, and flexing his arm that's lifting a dumbbell. Maybe it was the clothes he's been wearing, or the fact that I haven't been paying attention, but I didn't realize how jacked his arms were. They might be bigger than Oscar's. I was so distracted by the photo, I didn't even notice that he was saying something I couldn't make out with my phone so far from his face. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that again? I said don't be afraid to show that to Lucas. I think he'd like seeing how much progress I've made. I hadn't noticed it at first, but he's breathing heavily, and I think I can hear the occasional grunt. Is he still working out even though we're on the call? Did you used to work out when you knew him? Not yet. It's just something I've been working on. It looks good, yeah? Yeah, you look amazing. It feels special coming from someone like yourself. I'm not used to knowing so many openly gay males. It's very flattering. There's a tiny moment, my heart racing at hearing someone come out and mention my sexuality. Despite knowing that it's much more accepted nowadays, there's always a tiny bit of fear that's been instilled by movies and documentaries. Yeah, you would have figured that out, wouldn't you? I guess taking you to that cafe yesterday wasn't exactly subtle. It's okay, friend. You won't find any judgment here, but if you want me to not mentioned, I can do that. Nope, it's fine. Honestly, it's nice. I've never really had anyone talk about it before. Not even Lucas. Well, I would have thought you two would have had this discussion already, have you not? Not really. Just kind of an unspoken thing. Honestly, I think the way Oscar acts gave most of us away. Which friend is this? I haven't met any of them, so I'm not too familiar with their names. Oh, sorry, that one's the otter. The big beefy guy who looks closer to an action star than a student. Ah, yes, I remembered Lucas wasn't too fond of him. Unfortunate, too. He sounds like a good man. I think they're getting better, I think. But yeah, it isn't really something that comes up between us. I've never really talked to anyone about being gay. Not even my family, outside of coming out. I'm in a similar boat, I will admit. You'd rarely hear about this so openly back in Russia. Not in public, at least. You never know who might hear. Does that mean he is... Should I ask? Is it any of my business? Maybe it's best to keep my questions to what I'm already going to ask. There's no need to add anything more to what I'm going to already. If this is as serious as Lucas is acting like this, I'm going to need to be a bit delicate. Is everything all right, friend? You've gotten awfully quiet. Everything's fine. I just wanted to call you to talk with you about something. Is this about last night? I'd hope those chocolates might help with adding a bit of mood between you two. I've always found the idea of feeding each other chocolates rather romantic, and Lucas used to be quite fond of the chocolate I bought him. No, it wasn't like that. I mean, it was, but we weren't feeding each other. We just kissed, and I think we're boyfriends now? Oh god, he's so adorably innocent. Oh my god. Congratulations! I knew it the moment I saw you two. Lucas really trusted you. I could see it in his eyes. I'm just glad things went well, all things considered, you know. You know. This might be the best opportunity to bring up the idea, so I take a peek towards my door to make sure Lucas still isn't here before I come out and ask. Actually, I don't really know. In fact, Lucas has been acting a little strange, and I was hoping you could tell me why. There's a long moment where neither of us say anything. The only noise coming through the speaker is his husky breaths and deep grunts. I'm almost startled as he lets out one loud groan before releasing a long sigh. One that doesn't sound tired or uncomfortable, but more relieved and happy? Sorry, friend, I was just finishing up the final few reps. The end is still difficult even for me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about this in person. This might be too heavy for a call, and I want more of a chance to explain things. It wouldn't be appropriate to do this here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Lucas is back, y'all. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!